The King of Fighters, abbreviated as KOF, is a fighting game that peaked during the 1990s to the early 2000s. It was so famous that almost every Korean man would know about it, and it engaged with the arcade's heyday, and it became a huge sensational game series. In fact, KOF was developed just as a fan service, thinking what would it look like if Ryo Sakazaki from Art of Fighting and Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury battled each other. The series started as KOF 94. It became way more famous than expected because most of the fighting games at that time were just one-on-one, but KOF 94 came out with 3-on-3 team tournament and had more than 20 characters. Choosing 3 characters in 5 rounds max for just a coin was a loss for the arcade, so some arcade owners fixed it to one-on-one modes. Anyways, the Art of Fighting team, the Fatal Fury team, the Ikari series team, the Psycho Soldiers team, and the Japanese team with the charming character name Kusanagi Kyo made the King of Fighters a popular game that represents SNK and releasing new series until now. When you think of the main characters of KOF would be Kyo and Iori. Putting these 2 characters with Chizuru Kagura, we call them the 3 sacred artifacts. These artifacts appear in real Japanese myths as the Sword of Kusanagi, the Yasakani Jewel, and the Mirror of Yatta. These mystical treasures are used to deal with the KOF 97's boss, Orochi, which will be explained later. To be more specific, Kusanagi's sword is to thrust Orochi, Yasakani Jewel is to seal Orochi, and Yatta's mirror is to guard the seal. The story of the 3 families and the 3 artifacts began 1800 years ago. Orochi, who could not tolerate humans destroying nature, takes over the body of Kushinada Hime, who also appears in Japanese myth, and with the support of the 8 strongest followers of Orochi clan, called Hakeshu, which also will be explained later. Orochi tries to wipe out the human race, but the ancestors of Kyo, Iori, and Chizuru defeats Orochi and Hakeshu and then seals them. But 660 years ago, Yasakani had jealousy over Kusanagi and had a longing for Orochi's power, so he tried to seal Orochi. But fortunately, Yatta had sealed Orochi and Hakeshu separately, so only the Hakeshu were released. But one of the Hakeshu killed the Yasakani leader's wife and reported to the Yasakani leader that the Kusanagi clan was responsible for her death. Yasakani fell for the lie and made a blood pact with Orochi to gain the power for revenge, gaining the forbidden technique and the blue fire of Orochi. Yasakani changed the family crest to moon-shaped design from the sun-shaped design which they used together with the Kusanagi clan. Then the Yasakani renamed themselves as the Yagami clan. For these reasons, Iori hates Kyo, and this is where Kyo and Iori's rivalry came from. Hakeshu is a group of 8 strongest followers of Orochi, who is the final boss of KOF 97. The members are Mature from 94, Vice from 95, Yamazaki Ruji from 97, and Leona's father, Gaidel, who doesn't show up in the game. Plus, the 4 Heavenly Kings of Orochi, the 4 strongest warriors in the Hakeshu, Ganis from 96, Yashiro, Jeremy, and Chris from 97. The number 8 is probably from the Japanese myth, where Yamato no Orochi has 8 heads. The Hakeshu is the main cause of the ill-fated relationship between Iori and Kyo, and plays a big part in resurrecting Orochi. Orochi Chris, Orochi Yashiro, and Orochi Jeremy are the dark counterpart of the Japanese team, Kyo, Diamond, and Benimaru, and have the same powers as them respectively. These abilities are the same to 4 things the Japanese are afraid of: fire, earthquake, lightning, and father. Father is considered to be Genis, as his ability is wind, and the origin of the word Oyaji, which is father in Japanese, is thought to have come from the word O-Oyamaji, which means cyclone in Japanese. Besides, the 2 members of Hakeshu, Mature and Vice, are ones that keep eye on humans with Orochi's power. In KOF 94 and 95, they come out as Vergel's secretaries, and in 96, they act as Iori's teammates. Even though Yamazaki Ruji is a Hakeshu, he prefers to work alone, and Gaidel refuses to become a member because of his family. The bosses that appear in Orochi series are Rigel, Genis, and Orochi. First, Rigel Bernstein. Rigel is the first boss of KOF and came out as the boss in 4 different series, 94, 95, 98, and 2002. He was loved for his frequency of appearance, and with his insane skill, the genocide cutter. He earned a lot of money from smuggling arms. He's so rich that he even has his own aircraft carrier. Rigel always blows himself up after beaten by players. He is, in some ways, same as Freezer from Dragon Ball. Genis is the boss of KOF 96, and also a member of Hakeshu. He serves Orochi, but his real job is priest. Because of his job, his attitude and the way he speaks is very polite, but actually is very cold-blooded and has killed Chizuru's twin sister and unsealed Orochi's ceiling and made Leona insane. Rigel approached Genis for Orochi's power, and the reason why Rigel could use that power in 95 was because Genis took one of Rigel's eyes and gave him the power of Orochi for that. Finally, Orochi is the boss of 97 and the main cause for all the incidents. He shares the same motive with Orochimaru in Naruto, which was also motived from Yamato no Orochi in Japanese myth. He is a divine being called the Guy's Will. He doesn't have any shape, so to become active, he needs catalyst. He took over Kushina Hime's body 1800 years ago, and in KOF 97, he took Chris's body. It needs a lot of willpower to descend. Together this willpower, Hakeshu opened the KOF 97 tournament, which is the best place for collision of willpower. By using all of the willpower created in the tournament, Orochi finally resurrects. Orochi's first design was Naked Chris fighting with an orb of light, but it only got 2 votes from designers and became what it is now. The blue fire is Orochi's power, so only Iori, whose ancestors made a pact of blood 660 years ago with the Orochi, and Orochi Chris of Hakeshu can use the blue fire. The story of KOF is divided into 3 parts. The Orochi series till 97, the Nets series from 99 to 2001, and the Ash series from 2003 to KOF 13. The Orochi series is the most popular series among all the series. To arrange Orochi series in sequence, the KOF 94 was just a test project and a prologue. The word Orochi doesn't even show up in the game. Since the word The King of Fighters came from the subtitle of foreign version of Fatal Fury, and of course it is a combat tournament, the opening starts with an invitation. Rigel comes out as the final boss. He has a hideous taste of killing strong fighters and making them into sculptures. Anyways, the story ends with Rigel getting defeated by the player and blowing himself up. In 95, Iori is added in the series and Rigel appears again as the final boss. At the final stage, Rigel uses the power of Orochi and turns into Omega Rigel, but gets beaten again and explodes. Until this time, Orochi's power was just an unknown power. It came to surface at KOF 96. The power that Rigel used was the power of Orochi. In 96, Iori appears with Mature and Vice, who were Rigel's secretaries in the previous season. Chizuru Kagura comes out as the mid-boss and the sponsor of the tournament. Chizuru reveals Orochi, Genis, and Hakeshu's identities, and suddenly, Genis appears destroying the award stage, but gets defeated by players. Everything seemed over, however Iori reacts to Orochi's power and goes insane, killing Mature and Vice. 97 starts. Orochi Iori and Orochi Leona comes out as the stage boss. If your team has Iori, Ralph, or Clark, Orochi Leona comes out as the stage boss. If otherwise, Orochi Iori comes out. After you beat the stage boss, the 4 Heavenly Kings of Orochi team, Orochi Chris, Orochi Shermie, and Orochi Ashiro comes out as the mid-boss. After you beat the shit out of them, all the energy is gathered enough and Orochi takes over Chris's body and turns into the final boss who we love the most. To see the true ending of 97, you need to select Kyo, Iori, and Chizuru. When the player defeats Orochi, Orochi tries to attack Kyo and Chizuru by making Iori insane. On the brink of madness, Iori holds onto Orochi and seals him. and letting Kyo finish. The Yasakani jewel for sealing, the mirror of Yata for guarding the seal, and the sword of Kusanagi for thrusting did their work properly, and the Orochi series ends. So today's lesson, guys: protect the environment and nature. Anyways, the Orochi series is the most representative and concise story of the King of Fighters series, and is loved by many fans.